see the crystal raindrops fall, and the beauty of it all is when the sun comes shining through to make those rainbows in my mind. When I think of you sometime, and I want to spend some time with you, just the two of us. We can make it if we try, just the two of us.
Just the two of us.
Just the two of us. Building castles in the sky, just the two of us. You and I. We look for love, no time for tears. Wasted water's all that is, and it don't make no flowers grow. Good things might come to those who wait, but not for those who wait too late. We gotta go for all we know. Just the two of us. We can make it if we try. Just the two of us.
Just the two of us.
Just the two of us. Building them castles in the sky. Just the two of us. You and I. I hear the crystal raindrops fall on the window down the hall, and it becomes the morning dew. And darling, when the morning comes and I see the morning sun, I want to be the one with you. Just the two of us. We can make it if we try. Just the two of us.
Just the two of us.
Just the two of us, building big castles way on high. Just the two of us, you and I.
Just the two of us.
Just the two of us. Let's get it together, baby.
And Nasty. Host Randy Chevrier and Sheldon Napashka guide you through great stories that spark great conversations. Two really big guys talking a big game. The boys are locked in and ready to go. Welcome to the ride.
Yeah, welcome to the ride, everybody. Episode 98, and you know, I got a feeling that there's a lot of tired Jays fans out there tonight, Chev.
Yeah, there must be, because they were up till what, 1 in here, Western.
1:30 out
Mountain
here.
time?
1:30 out here. Yeah.
3 in in Toronto. While they were stayed up late to watch, that was nuts. They played the equivalent of an extra game, right?
Yeah, with half the roster. I mean, we'll get into that a little bit more now. But I was one of those suckers that it says streams unavailable on my end. Are we having any troubles here tonight, guys?
I'm here.
I'm seeing the chat. We might have to jump out and try this again. Trey, why don't you jump? Well, I guess Trey's probably trying to solve some problems right now. I think we're going to have to save some of this stuff, though, if nobody can see us.
Trey,
It's
what's
only
going
showing
on?
a couple people in there. Yeah, everybody's cut off.
How'd they cut off the stream?
I don't know. I think we'll have to send out a new link.
Trey, can you
Policy violations get bent. I'm sure he's working on some things on his end there.
Was that because of the music?
I think we got banned because of the song I played.
Oh, you're kidding?
Yeah.
Like banned? Are we on Facebook right now?
No, I don't think so.
Can we restart it with a different song?
Yeah. Well, okay. No, we're good on
it's
Facebook.
all good on Facebook.
And on YouTube. Sick.
We're going to have to put that in the YouTube comments. Yeah, show was cut off by YouTube.
Oh,
that's funny. Well, Facebook's there, and at least we've got Amanda with us tonight, but she gets to talk to me a lot anyway.
Oh, no, we're good. We're back live on YouTube now. Yeah,
we're back?
Yeah. Okay.
There we go.
What a terrible start.
Yeah, no, that was awesome. I've never been banned from YouTube before. And
I've never been banned.
what's with that song anyway, Trey? Was that referring to Chevy and I as the two of us? Was that
Yeah, well, Daryl put that in the chat today about what were you guys even talking about, the two of you? And you were talking
for that
about
his speaking event coming up.
yeah, the speaking event, yes. And I don't know, I just had the song stuck in my head. So
Yeah,
I was like, oh,
and
we'll
yeah,
do that
Jamin, I'm
for-
pretty sure that was Cozy made one too many beaver jokes, and YouTube just cut us off. Well,
Probably
apparently,
one too many.
Trey playing just the two of us. Those of you that are just joining us right now, I hope you guys all came back. Yeah, I think that song got us banned.
I think
we didn't play the-
I think it's the Doug Ford Ontario ad that they took out in the US. We got banned because of
could
Doug
be.
Ford. Let's blame Doug Ford. Well, it's our 98th episode. We're back. We're back on the air. If you guys have any technical difficulties, please let us know in the comments. But apparently we're back on YouTube. We're back on Facebook, which should mean that we'll be back on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and all that stuff tomorrow morning. Remember, you can follow us everywhere you get your socials at Chevy and Nasty. We're brought to you each week by Performance Freight Management, We Drone, Real Estate Media, and YYC Business. And as you mentioned, Sheldon, it was probably a late night for you and all the Blue Jays fans. I tried to get to bed early. I didn't, but tonight I will try to get to bed early. So this show, do you think we'll get to bed early?
I never get to bed after this. That's the thing about this show at this time, right? Like usually right by the end.
I don't even think we finish on time. Like we talked about all the things we're going to talk about, Sheldon. Like we're going to talk about the Blue Jays tonight. We're going to talk about Halloween, some Halloween traditions, some Halloween candies, costumes. All that. We got to talk about that. CFL playoffs are starting this week. Lot going on there that we at least got to look at it. There's some things in the studs and duds. We're seeing a lot of problems on the roadways with truckers. And there was an article in the National Post today that's saying there's an alarming trend that you can't ignore. And some people will call you something, call you racist if you don't ignore this trend. But there's a trend. And it was a National Post article. Maybe we'll talk about that. Sheldon, you know what else happened that we didn't even talk about that we got to talk about? The big NBA gambling scandal that's connected to the mob. It's crazy.
Yeah.
There's so much to talk about today. I don't know what we're going to get to. I don't know where we're going to go, but let's start the way we always start with number 98. Trey, do you have any good 98s for us? So who do we got there? We got, I know at the top, we got Connor Bedard. Let me ask you, Sheldon, is he all he's cracked up to be, or is he just
what's funny? The guy's very skilled, extremely skilled. He ate up juniors, but he's showing some cracks in his game and in his mental toughness and his approach. I'm hearing some not so good things about this guy the last couple of years. In fact, I think I once got like a 30-minute lecture from Jamin why this guy is going to end up as just another high rank guy that never quite made the transition. We'll see. I mean, he's still young. He's got a lot of talent, but I don't know if he's the next great thing in the NHL.
2 years in a row, a 60-point guy. That's nothing to scoff at.
Yeah,
that's nothing that's pretty good. He's got 12 points already this year. He's doing better than I thought, because I don't follow the stats, right? I follow the games. I follow my Montreal Canadiens. I like the Oilers in the playoffs when they go on a run, and I pay attention to who's doing well. Chicago Blackhawks have fallen under the radar a bit, and I knew he made some big waves a couple of years ago when he got drafted, but I actually didn't expect to see him have 2 seasons of over 60 points. So what are they saying? Jamin Dahmer, he's not going to be a Gavin McKenna of the Calgary Flames. He's not going to be a Cole Caulfield either, or a Demidov, or name one of those guys on the Habs roster. And yes, my Montreal Canadiens lost to the Oilers last week after I went to that amazing game against the Calgary Flames. The Habs beat the Flames in overtime. It was a fantastic game. And
I'm going to cut you off there a little bit though, because those of you guys that tuned in last week, Chevy spent 15 minutes going off on Connor McDavid and the Oilers and why they're just not a good team. Yet his Habs are dominant. They're built the right way. They got the young stars, and everybody agreed with you. that the Canadians are a good young team. They're putting on an impressive show. But I thought that was funny, and you got pretty quiet on the text line in the group chat on what was that, Wednesday night, Thursday night?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, there you go. So we can't let you off quite that easy, Chev, because you talked a lot of smack last week. You called out a lot of guys. You basically called it the end of the Oilers' seasons after 6 games, and
I didn't say it's the end of the Oilers season.
You said it was the end of it, that you can't come.
You
back
said it was the end of it, Chevy. Don't even lie. You said it was.
I said
haven't
it
lost
was
the game since you said that.
I said
so
it
we're
was
probably
the
gonna win
end
the
of it
cup.
for the Flames. They're already almost out of it. I said the Oilers are mid by this point in the season, and you don't get to the Stanley Cup Finals by being mid. Now, that being said, I'll give credit where credit's due. You guys did win. I didn't pay attention to the game on Thursday because, like I said, I hadn't seen Brittany in 2 weeks, and I didn't want to be messing with you guys while I was having a nice evening with her. But I will say this, and this is going to go off script here. This is going to go off script, guys. It's just the way it goes on the ride. We're going to go off script. I got to tell you a story. I didn't even think I was going to talk about this, but we brought it up. Sheldon, this was cool, and I think you'll appreciate this. We talk about a men's health show, a guy's show, and some of the things that you don't notice later in life. So you guys know how much I love the Montreal Canadiens. It's a big deal for me. And I went to that game with my son, Kyle. And it was cool because Kyle went downtown and he met me at the game. And it was super fun. And we had a great time. And when we left, I mean, the fans were chanting the ole, ole, ole. I don't even know if I sent Trey the video, but it was cool. It was like, it reminded me of like when I was a kid leaving the old Montreal Forum. It was that loud. It was that fun. And it spilled out into sort of the outside on Stampede's grounds, right into the LRT. All the Habs jerseys, everyone chanting. And so I'm sitting down in the LRT, and this is like bringing me back to my Montreal days. There's an old gentleman all by himself sitting in the corner. My son Kyle's sitting in front of me, and I'm standing, and I'm telling him some stories about the old Montreal Canadiens, like, you know, how Kyle was wearing my first jersey that I got in 1982. And, you know, I told him about my stash of Maple Leafs jerseys that I had because I left the Canadiens when they traded Patrick Waugh and a couple of other guys. And just talking about the history of the Montreal Canadiens. I was telling him the history about the Expos from, you know, we talked the night before about that documentary on Netflix. And this old guy next to me starts nodding. And he starts kind of jumping in on our stories, right? And we start chatting. And it turns out that his son-in-law was JP Esquerdo, who played for the Stampeders and who I coached with. And so we're chatting, and this guy lived in Montreal for a year, and we're just having the best time. And he's telling stories. I'm telling stories. My son's soaking it in. The LRT's rocking, right? Now, this is why this is an important story and why I thought it was cool to tell. My dad, way back, my dad had a fall. For those of you guys that don't know, my dad had a fall. And after he had the fall, that was the end of who he was. He became a completely different person. He had he had a head trauma, head injury that basically advanced dementia, and he no longer was my dad. But the night that he had his fall, for his 75th birthday, we got him a ticket to go watch Montreal Canadiens, to go watch PK Subban, his favorite player, come back to the Montreal Forum after he had been traded to Nashville. So I always remember that night. And again, I was in Calgary for the devastation that it put on our family. My mom, obviously, was the beginning of the end for my dad. He died about a year later. But I never thought about his night before going to that Montreal Canadiens game, you know, what it would have been like. And then being in the LRT with this old guy that kind of reminded me of my dad, watching him have like the best night of his life. His Habs won. He's sitting in the Metro. My dad's like me. He could talk to anyone. I kind of left that Metro feeling, wow, like I think that's what my dad's last night was. Going to a Habs game, watching his team, chatting with some people on the Metro on the way home, and just having the best night of his life. And so for me, it's so crazy that night really felt even more special than the game. It kind of allow me to reframe my dad's, really his last night as Bob Chevrier. So I want to throw that out there because, again, you know, as we get older and you talk about the finality of life sometimes and things are happening. I mean, I lost one parent and, you know, we're at the age where our parents are aging and, things are happening, but it really allowed me to reframe. And I thought that was, again, that special emotional connection we talked about last week through sports that I would not have thought about that had I not had that experience riding in the LRT with my son. So I just wanted to bring that up. I know
it's a great story, and I almost feel bad for doing this to you because it is a great story. Dad stories are always touching, and we have them, right? Those special moments. We had a special moment too, though, last week, and I want to get it back on topic. I love the story, no disrespect.
No, absolutely.
But me, Trey, and Cozy walked away from last week's Chevy disgusted by what you're saying about your Habs and our Oilers. So we had one of those nice nights too. Like, we don't have to sing ole ole in this part of the country. We can just like shoot text and badmouth you a little bit, right? But Thursday night was definitely a special night for the Cozies and the Trays and the Nasties of the world. Love the story with your dad. I'm glad you beat up on the lowly Flames. I'm sure that felt really good for you.
And the Canucks and the Kraken.
The Kraken, yeah. But this season's got a long way to go. But with that, Chev, why don't we start it off here, Trey? Keep the show going with our poetry. And tonight we've got a bit of, I think people were listening last week when we said direction of the show, more involvement from you guys out there.
Yeah.
Todd Kozak, speaking of Cozy, was sitting there at an appointment today, and he said, "Hey, I'm going to write you guys a poem." So I don't know how good this is. I don't know if it's going to rhyme, but we're going to find out here in right now. Trey, cue it up.
And now, 300-pound poetry with Chevy and Nasty.
We're here to fight. The 300-pound poets are here to make it right.
The Jays showed some courage, and they're still Canada's team. The Habs fall to the oil and leave the little Frenchman Chevy with a scream.
As our fall breeze sets in and the football is at its best, it's time to show who's the champs. Will it be the East or the West?
Now, Nasty's full of smiles, and he loves you all, while Chevy puts out fires and makes all balls.
They're Cowtown's best, and we love them all. Like Ringo, George, John, the other guy, Paul.
They make your back crack, your knees freeze. You think I'm lying? I'm flying. And baby, I ain't got no wings. Not too bad, Cozy. Not bad at all.
I don't know if wings rhymes with freeze or knees, but I thought it was really
rhymes
good.
with lion. You think I'm lying? I'm flying.
No, lion and flying, man. But what rhymes with knees?
I think it works. I think that works. Cozy,
I think
good job, buddy.
You know what? Great job. We loved reading your poem, guys. Again, like we mentioned last week, more interaction and Cozy comes through. So thanks so much for that. Hope things are good with you. He mentioned the Beatles. There was another guy, right? Like there wasn't just the four.
Early on.
Wasn't there a guy that so yeah. Oh, it looks
guys,
like
this is really working out. I just got a good job working at the yellow pages, and channel's down again.
Yeah, the channel's down. Well, I don't know. I don't know why it's down. Well, let us know if this Trey, at least let them know that it's live in Facebook, so that they can if you could type it in while we're talking here. Trey's working on it. Well, they can also switch to Facebook if we're up on Facebook. Let me just put that in there. Live television, hey?
Yeah, that's something. Never had this one happen before.
Yeah,
like not going in and out like this, but
anyhow, yeah. So let's go on to Blue Jays. So you mentioned it at the start. Did you stay up?
Yeah, I did. I did. I couldn't turn it off, but it was one of those things. Like the Jays were down early on, but it was a close game. Came back, I think in the sixth, they got to the bullpen a little bit, put up a bit of a run, but it was disastrous to watch. I mean, there was bad calls on the umps. There was bad base running by the Jays, but it was close the whole way through. But around the sixth inning, Schneider started playing the tactical game. He's pulling out guys, putting in pinch runners, pinch hitters, as if this was the final inning and we just had to have it. And it was close. And there are probably a lot of great baseball calls. I'm not a baseball guy, so I can't tell you if they're the right calls or not. But watching guys get thrown out running the third, guys getting sent home, it was getting pretty frustrating, but you still had that belief that they had a chance. But I'll tell you what, Chev, when you're down, I mean, at one point, it was probably around 12:30, 1 o'clock in the morning, they showed a shot of the bullpen. Bullpen
Yeah.
was empty.
Yeah, it's just
They were
chairs,
actually
right?
just chairs.
Yeah.
They were at the point where they were considering, do we have to put a fielder into pitch? And Otani was just lighting us up the whole night. It's not that Scherzer threw a bad game, for the first 5 innings, but that was like 4 hours ago, right? And yeah, so I watched every painful inning, and it was so hard to see the ball go over the fence at the final run. You feel like you wasted your night, and I was absolutely exhausted today. I'm curious, those of you, if we're back on Facebook now, if you guys haven't given, or on YouTube now, if you haven't given up, who all stayed up till the end of that game?
Yeah, I definitely didn't. I went to bed early. I tried to go to bed early, and my boys were making lots of noise. I guess they were watching the game, so I went down and see what the ruckus was. I think they were watching the game while they were wrestling, but I tuned in for a little bit. I went back to bed. I tried to watch a bit, but I couldn't stay up. I was exhausted. But that being said, I did see that early non-strike call or non-ball call that really put the Jays in a pinch.
Yeah,
and that almost seemed like, and again, I don't know the psychology of baseball, but in football, sometimes there's a big drop or a key fumble that just sets in motion a string of events that just you can't overcome, like a mental thing where it's like, oh, we shouldn't have fumbled that ball, or the ref shouldn't have called that holding, or whatever, like pass interference, whatever it is. And some teams can't get over that. Was this the case for the Jays, or did they put that to bed and it was just that tight a game?
It hurt because I think we hit a home run or double, drove home runs after that, and missing that run hurt. But I don't think at any point that the night spiraled. It was just little thing after little thing after little thing. Like I said, base running errors, guys getting thrown out on third because he had a gut feeling he could make it. Sending a guy in extra innings, I can't remember who it was, sending him from third to home. And it was probably the right call. There was 2 out, and it was a perfect throw. I mean, it really was it really was exceptional play on both sides, mixed with some bad calls and some bad plays also by both sides. I mean, a guy, I think, was it last night that infielder for the Dodgers overruns the pop fly and drops it. No, I think that was tonight.
So let me ask you.
I'll tell you what, I have watched 12 hours, 13 hours of baseball in less than a 24-hour span. And
that's probably the most that's probably the most you've watched in the last 20 years. Probably.
Oh yeah, without a doubt. And Diane Regis and Ernie Regis weighing in. Yeah, they did the same. They're very tired this evening. But you know what? It was worth it. Tonight.
Let me ask you about this evening, because so now this evening, fast forward after the longest baseball game in recent memory, and our good buddy John Bender was there, by the way.
I didn't know that.
So John Bender, just so we know, a guest of the show, friend of the show, flew to Reno, Nevada for his reunion with his team that did very well. I can't remember back when, but that was Colin Kaepernick was his quarterback. So Kaepernick was there. And then he drove to LA to go catch the 2 Blue Jays games. So anyhow, they win tonight. They come back. I think they put a 6-1 whooping on the Dodgers. Both teams tired. Both teams suffering from last night, but the Blue Jays rebound. Now, again, when it comes from my point of view, who I have not been a baseball fan in a long time, and I'm not going to pretend that I know what's going on and all the stats. But last week, when we knew the Blue Jays were going to the World Series, we were aware that this would be a massively, massively underdog team facing the Dodgers. The Dodgers were way outclassing them, and you see it at times with Shohei Ohtani. His performance last night, ridiculous. Like, this guy is from another planet. But that being said, we're tied after 4 games. The 2 games that we did win, it was in dominant style. The game, at least one of the games that the Dodgers wins, they win it by a shoestring. Are the Jays better than we give them credit for? And 4 games in, do we have a shot? Do we have a shot?
Again, this is a very uneducated baseball opinion. So here's what we're up against. Dodgers have some of the best starting pitching in all of baseball. I mean, you're facing heavyweight after heavyweight, night in and night out. On at bat, especially their first 5-6 batters, tons of power. Those guys can get on base and they can drive in runs. And then you've got Shohei Ohtani, who's not only an all-star pitcher, but he can put up 3-4 home runs a night, and he has in the playoffs this year. So yeah, I mean, the Dodgers obviously have a lot of talent. They've got the payroll, they've got everything in place, but there's something different about this Jays team than we've seen from other playoff years. And that is the buy-in from everybody on the roster, from your hitters, who are just gritty. I mean, the Jays have got the best second two-strike approach I've ever seen. They are disciplined, and when they're at their best, they are disciplined. They are letting pitchers throw breaking balls and curveballs outside. They're not chasing them. They can keep their bats alive, and they run up the pitch count against great pitchers. When they do that, they can get to the weakness that is the Dodgers, and it's the bullpen. I mean, that's what happened when we won 47-6 there in game one. They got to the bullpen, and everybody can hit. Everybody's disciplined. Everybody can contribute. So I still think that the Jays are the underdog to a certain extent. But listen, if Bichette keeps getting stronger every at bat and every inning that he plays, if George Springer is able to come back even as a designated hitter, and as long as that the pitching staff, who's actually been, I mean, you can't call them brilliant, but they've all done their part, and they haven't cost us games yet. I think it's going to be exciting to see. So if they can get back, well, they're going to get back to Toronto. It's going to be really interesting to see what happens. They could win tomorrow night.
I mean, the slogan at this point has got to be "We believe," right? Like, we believe.
I think it's more Vladdy, I born ready. And I think when he said I born ready in his post-game speech, I think that's kind of the I born ready, Chev.
Yeah. So yeah, no, I'm excited. I watched a little bit more tonight while I was when I got home from Mavericks practice. And by the way, speaking of Mavericks, we're going to the city finals, the Division II city finals this weekend. And if we win there, we'll go to the provincials. It's not the World Series like the Jays, but we were also severely underdogs to be where we're at. And oh, look at that, Trey was all ready with that one. But yeah, no, I'm. It's kind of cool to see the baseball fever taking Canada by storm. Like I said, even again, going back to talking on the train with that old guy, when I was talking about baseball and stuff, we both were in agreement that like our hearts were broken when Montreal left town, and the only reason that the Montreal is the 2.5 or almost 3 million people in Montreal can get behind the Jays is because of Vladimir Guerrero Jr. And so you really have Canada behind this team, because if it was any other team or if it's any other Blue Jays that did not have a name from the past, especially a name that's a junior to someone that was such a star in Montreal, they would not have had the Montreal karma behind them. So they do. And it's exciting. And they're going back to Toronto, I believe, not tomorrow, Thursday night, correct?
Friday night. Yeah.
Friday night. So looking forward to this. And as it gets closer to the end, I mean, I'm getting super excited, because also as it gets closer to the end of the World Series, guess what, Sheldon? It gets closer to the Grey Cup, which I think we should take a break now and come back and talk a little bit about that. What do you think? Let's take a quick break, guys. You know where to find us each week, at Chevy and Nasty on all your socials: Facebook, Instagram, X, Amazon Music, Apple Podcasts, and Spotify. We're brought to you each week by Performance Freight Management, We Drone Real Estate Media, and YYC Business. All our good friends are here tonight, and they're listening at home. Guys, we'll take a quick break, come back, talk some CFL, and it'll be fun. It's a fun weekend coming up.
Performance Freight Management is a global logistic freight shipping company that will handle the entire shipping process for any package to any country. Whether it be a simple truck shipment from your office to Toronto or your company importing generators from China, PFM Freight handles it all. We have the expertise and technology to handle any shipping requirements. Skip the guesswork and let us take the shipping pain off your plate.
you want your business to be known. YYCCalgaryBusiness.ca is Calgary's only online media platform that gets you noticed. Short-form video content is rapidly taking over as the most effective way to engage your audience. Whether you're being interviewed on a vodcast, sharing a sizzle reel, or even hosting your own show, there is one place you can publicize your business. We want to tell your story and introduce you to our network of empowered business owners and leaders right here in Calgary. Isn't it time you took your digital game to 11? Call us or email us now.
And we're back, I think. Guys, sound off. Cozy just sent me a text. It's not letting him comment. If it's not letting you comment, try logging out, logging back in. That might work for you guys. Yeah, Ernie and Diane said, yeah, they stayed up for the Jays game last night and, of course, watched it tonight. And are very tired this evening. Yeah, it's exhausting.
Yeah.
Something about the pace of the MLB as well. Getting 3 games in a row, like you don't get a break. You are just absolutely. If you're involved, you're involved. You know what I mean?
Yeah. You know what's funny is again, always prefacing that I don't pay too much attention to baseball, but and I don't know if other stadiums do this, but I find it pretty cool at Dodger Stadium that when the Dodgers are at bat, they play the organ. So the organist is like, he's on fire too. He's amazing. And then when the other team's at bat, they play all the songs or the cheers to get the fans going. And it's kind of cool to hear the organist. I mean, that's old timey. I remember the old Montreal Forum used to have an organ. I think the Olympic Stadium had one, but you don't see it as much anymore. Maybe in baseball they do. But like I said, I haven't paid that much attention to baseball in recent years, but to hear an organ again, that's kind of cool.
Yeah.
That was a staple in sports, and now it's no longer in all rinks and all arenas. I don't know
Do you
where
think
else.
it's an actual organ they're playing? Are they playing an actual organ there? Have you
Yeah,
seen
no, I
it?
think they've got an organist. I think they got a double-decker organist,
Yeah.
whatever. Like that's pretty cool. Where do you want to go now? I mean, the Blue Jays are going to do their thing, or they're not by the time we get to our next show. But what's going to kick off, and we mentioned it, is the CFL playoffs, the road
Yeah.
Hoop Gray. Any surprises for you at this end of the season? We got through a regular season, 18 games. The Red Blacks, the Blue Bombers, the Argonauts. Trey says he won. That's a surprise. That's a surprise to me. That Trey won the regular season.
Yeah, Trey. Yeah, I don't know. I thought I had a perfect week. I must.
You know why?
I thought I did have a perfect week.
Sheldon, when you're a student.
Wait, Trey, put that back up. Where's Chevy on there?
No, I'm down. I'm not even
Yeah,
there. I
so
stopped
you-
making my picks.
Oh,
I stopped making my
you
picks.
did. You stopped making your picks.
I did.
Okay, that's a
I
stutter dud for tonight.
That's a dud. I kept missing. I kept getting frustrated. The one time I made the picks, they didn't save him. I got mad. I boycotted. Then I boycotted the season. But Sheldon, as far as the gameplay, we got the Winnipeg crossing over to the east to play the Alouettes. The Tiger Cats are waiting in the wings off of the strong play of Bo Levi Mitchell. Stampeders going to BC this weekend. And from all accounts, it sounds like it might be a sold-out affair. And then you got Saskatchewan on top. Any surprises in this playoff picture from what you see right now? Anything that stands out?
Not as the season turned out. In maybe at the start of the season, just how strong Saskatchewan came on this year, because they had a strong season. And what surprised me is maybe the question marks that I have at quarterbacks at this point in the season. Like when I look at the West, Nathan Rourke or Vernon Adams Jr. Now, right now, I think Nathan Rourke has definitely got to be the favorite in this game. I mean, he's been playing some terrific football, but I'm a little bit surprised that Vernon Adams hasn't shown us his best, in the second half of the season. And I still have a belief that he can come back. So that one's going to be really interesting to me. I think the Lions are clearly the favorites. In the East, my number one thing is I still don't know if I believe in your Hamilton Tiger Cats. Like I'm a big Montreal guy right now. Davis Alexander, I think he's still got a perfect CFL record.
Yeah, he won 11. He won 11 starts, all his 11 starts, but he's been injured a lot, right? But he's won all his 11 starts, enough to basically take the job from Cody Fajardo, and then he got traded to Edmonton. but the Winnipeg Blue Bombers are the Winnipeg Blue Bombers, and they always say that once the playoffs start, and a one game shootout at the OK Corral, you never know who can win. And I mean, this is a replay of what 2 years ago Grey Cup. A few different players on the Montreal side of things, but still, it's not going to be a cakewalk for the Alouettes. Like, this is a very good Winnipeg Blue Bombers team coming in here, right?
Yeah, is it like, and that's for me the hard thing is do they still have it? Is Brady Oliveira going to be able to carry the load on his shoulders? I don't think traditionally Chev has a crossover team ever won. I know we tried it once with
I think in '93. I don't know when the last one was. I think the last crossover team to win was Edmonton, but they won the Eastern Final. They've never won a Grey Cup. They've gone to they've beaten the team in the semifinal, but never Grey Cup. So I don't know. I just think that Winnipeg is always dangerous. They're always dangerous. They got a great quarterback that has a lot of playoff experience versus a young quarterback that doesn't have a lot of playoff experience. When I look at that picture, I'm going to tell you, it's not the standings that surprised me. I think I thought Saskatchewan would be up there, and I believed in Hamilton from the start. For me, I'm going to say it's I don't know if it's pleasantly surprised. I admit I'm wrong. Nathan Rourke is the real deal. I didn't think he'd come back and have as strong a season as he did, but he's right up there. He is right up there. Him and Bo Levi Mitchell finished neck and neck. 5,290 yards for Rourke, 5,296 for Bo Levi.
Yeah, wow.
I did not think he would come in this year as strong as he did, because you saw what he did last year coming in the middle of the season. You thought, maybe he won't do it. But I've got to say, I'm impressed with BC and the way they've been peaking at the time they've been peaking. To me, they're the most dangerous team in the playoffs right now. If you look at how CFL typically trends, the team that's hottest and most dangerous going into the playoffs is usually the one to watch for. For me, that's the team. That's going to be a tall order for the Stamps. And you talked about it, Vernon Adams. He's probably got a chip on his shoulder. He's going back to BC, where he played so well for them over the last 2 years. Couldn't win the playoffs, but he was the man until he wasn't. And I just think that hit he took in Calgary against Montreal that knocked him out, I don't know if he ever came back 100% after that. I think he had a good season. I think he did all right. But I also think that
you were talking VA here.
Yeah, Vernon Adams.
Yeah.
I thought he did okay. He's no slouch. But I think what got the Stamps where they need to be was on the shoulders of Dedrick Mills, the leading rusher in the CFL, which that's great because 2 years ago they didn't have a leading anything, and now they got a leading rusher and a decent quarterback. So I'm excited that the CFL playoffs have started. I'm really excited to see. I think I'm more interested in for me, the more compelling matchup is the Stamps versus BC. A lot of storylines there and a lot of history there. But I won't go to sleep on that Alouettes Winnipeg game because there's some bad blood there, right, from the Grey Cup a few years ago. And I think it's just, Winnipeg is probably an Eastern team anyways. If it was a 10-team league, who knows?
Yeah.
Once we put a team in Saskatoon, Winnipeg bounces to the East. I don't know. But is there a game that you're in particularly excited to tune into, Sheldon?
Honestly, it's for me. I'm a Western guy. I want to see what Nathan Rourke has got. I'm a huge Riders fan, but I can't, ignore a great Canadian quarterback in Nathan Rourke. So to me, it's going to be very intriguing. In the East, honestly, for me, it's just, can Winnipeg get back through some miracle? 6 Grey Cups in a row? Will they find their way? I mean, I think they're done. I think that run is over, but you just never know. So I'm looking forward to the playoffs. I haven't watched any of the games the last 2 weeks because they've virtually been meaningless with guys being rested, playing partial games. Yeah, some jockeying for position, who gets home or whatever, who crosses over. But this weekend is going to be for real. So whatever I have left in the tank after watching the World Series, which I think goes no later than Saturday night, I'm looking forward to seeing this first round, and you'd be definitely watching both games.
So predictions on this. Let's start in the East. That's the first game I think is going to be played. You got Winnipeg going to Montreal. You got Zach Collaros with all the experience in the world. And like you said, they've got to 5 straight Grey Cups? Is this going to be the 6th if they make it? And then you got the Montreal Alouettes who've won a Grey Cup, but it's a different team. It's a different team, a different quarterback. And, who do you think is going to win?
It's a Jason Moss coach team. It's an exceptional organization that Montreal has. And there's probably the kiss of death I'm giving them, because that's probably all it needs for Winnipeg to come back and actually win this game. But I gotta go with Montreal in the East. How about you?
Yeah. You know what? I'm gonna pick the underdog here. As much as I love Jason Moss, I'm gonna go with the experience. I'm gonna go with the playoff experience of Zach Collaros. Maybe this is the last hurrah. Brady Oliveira. I like what those guys do. And so I'm gonna say that, Winnipeg just had to make it in, and maybe they'll knock the door down. So I'll pick Winnipeg in this one. You pick Alouettes.
I got the Alouettes. Yeah. Who do you got in the West?
And then Rob Evans doesn't agree with me, but that's fine. And then in the West, you know what, Sheldon? Like I said, I'm eating Crawbit because I didn't think that Nathan Rourke would be as good as he is. But, they stole Buck Pierce. Buck Pierce came over from Winnipeg, didn't steal him. He was the offensive coordinator in Winnipeg that got them a lot of the success they've had in the recent years. And I think maybe it shows why they weren't as successful this year. And I think the sky's the limit with that duo. So I'm going to take, much to the chagrin of my Stampeders, I think that, my logical brain is telling me that BC Lions are going to take this one.
Yeah, I think to pick the Stamps, that would have to be a gut feeling call if everything goes right. Nathan Rourke right now, I think, is getting back to it. Even little things he watched from the season, when the CFL announced the rule changes, and he came down hard on his love of the game. He's a passionate guy. He's all in. His NFL days are over unless he gets that miraculous phone call or the perfect situation. This guy's dialed in to be everything that he can be in the CFL, which is going to be a household name and a Hall of Famer. I'm sure of it one day. I can't right now. I can't bet against the BC Lions. So yeah, I'm with you on that one.
I think in my heart of hearts, I'm hoping that I see a Hamilton Tiger Cats BC Lions final. The battle of the felines and the two best quarterbacks in the league, and I think that would be a great showcase for Canadians. Just before we leave the CFL, 3 teams didn't make it. You've got did I lose you? You got the Red Blacks, who just fired their coach Bob Dice.
Yeah.
You've got the former Grey Cup champs, the Toronto Argonauts, how the mighty have fallen. And then you've got the Edmonton Elks. Which team of those 3 will take a step up next year? Which one will just continue to fall?
Well, yeah, and that's honestly a great question. For me, when I look at what the easy answer on that one's the Toronto Argonauts, in my opinion. I mean, they had everything going for them this year. They had to rebuild the defense. Yet teams can get past that. They didn't have a quarterback. They had Arbuckle, who at times was great. Most of the time he was fine. But fine doesn't win championships. It can win you one game, but it's not going to get you to the promised land. So I'm almost going to throw that pick out because Toronto's already a good team. They just need to get their quarterback back. For me, is what the Edmonton Elks did this season under Mark Killam. Under Mark Killam, Demetrius Maxis special teams, JC Sherritt on defense. What the change in culture to that team and the ability to make tough decisions as a head coach, like moving on from the Trey Ford experience and going back to proven Jason Moss, which I think was an easy call. They should have done it.
Fajardo.
Fajardo. Sorry, yeah, Fajardo. I mean, they've been making some great moves. They've got 2 strong running backs. They're still, I think they've showed enough that going into free agency this year that they're going to have more believers that want to get back to Edmonton. The city's starting to show some excitement. And I think they got good things going on. So I think the Elks are going to make another move forward next season. I mean, possibly. It's hard to say if they're going to be a playoff team because there's 3 other really strong teams in the West, but very potentially are going to be the crossover bid replacing Winnipeg next season.
Yeah, no, I'm with you on that, Sheldon. I was thinking that too. The Elks obviously out of contention this year, but it's the change they made at quarterback to having again, I hate to bash Trey Ford, and I'm not bashing him, but I just don't.
You're
think
not
he was
bashing him. Yeah.
I don't think he was ready, and he proved that he wasn't ready. I don't know if he'll get another shot, but they had a bona fide Grey Cup champ with Cody Fajardo, and it took 7 games to go to him. What they could have been if they gone there earlier, I don't know. Like
3 more.
who would,
I'm telling they would have 3 more wins.
who would be the crossover? Would it be them
Yeah.
or Winnipeg? Like they'd be neck and neck. It would have been that much better of a season for them, I think, had Cody Fajardo taken the reins from the beginning. So for me, it is Edmonton. Does Toronto bounce back? I don't know. How close is Chad Kelly to coming back? Like, is he around or is he done? Like, where does he stand? Because they didn't just lose at the quarterback position. They lost a lot of players. A lot of players left because, in the offseason, they left for free agency and stuff. If you recall, wasn't it funny that after Toronto wins the Grey Cup, Kadeem Carey, who was their running back, comes out and publicly states that the Stampeders were the worst organization ever and all this stuff. And here we are, the Stampeders in the playoffs, and the Argonauts are nowhere to be found. It's quite ironic. What else is ironic is that we actually could end the show on time if we take a break now.
Is a Rough Rider, remember?
What's that?
Say that again.
Kadeem Carey's a Rough Rider, remember that?
Oh, that's
yeah.
right. An injured Rough Rider, but yeah.
Yeah, he's a rough rider. He's a rough rider.
Yeah.
Why don't we take a break now, Sheldon?
Yeah.
And we'll come back and wrap this thing up in style. Guys, listen, I know we're having some technical difficulties. That happens once in a while. Young Trey's trying to figure it out. If we don't figure it out this week, we'll figure it out next week on our 99th episode. And for those of you that have been with us for 99 or 98 episodes so far, thanks for being on the ride. So take a little break, have a snack, and we'll wrap this up in the third segment.
Performance Freight Management is a global logistic freight shipping company that will handle the entire shipping process for any package to any country. Whether it be a simple truck shipment from your office to Toronto or your company importing generators from China, PFM Freight handles it all. We have the expertise and technology to handle any shipping requirements. Skip the guesswork and let us take the shipping pain off your plate.
Do you want your business to be known? YYCCalgaryBusiness.ca is Calgary's only online media platform that gets you noticed. Short-form video content is rapidly taking over as the most effective way to engage your audience. Whether you're being interviewed on a vodcast, sharing a sizzle reel, or even hosting your own show, there is one place you can publicize your business. We want to tell your story and introduce you to our network of empowered business owners and leaders right here in Calgary. Isn't it time you took your digital game to 11? Call us or email us now.
Welcome back to the ride. I'm having technical difficulties with my throat. Thanks for joining us, guys. It was a great talk, CFL. Sorry earlier on. I know we didn't plan to go. I didn't go on that tangent with the story about my dad, but it was I thought it was a pretty cool thing to kind of come full circle in life. And then we talked about the emotion with the Jays, and you look at it. The sports really are awesome. Sports are awesome because, you could take something that you don't care about and just find one little thread to hang on to, and then you become all in and you stay up till, like you did, 1 a.m, watch a sport that you probably haven't watched a full game of in 20 years, and you basically watched 2 in one night. And
you know what?
For me,
and I didn't watch it by myself. I mean, both my boys were there.
That's pretty cool.
Right up until the end, and my wife was there right up until the end. I mean, it is. Sports are one thing, but it is kind of the stories of who you share it with, whether it's your best friends, teammates, or your family, right? There's a lot it's the stories that go into getting excited with other people that are also excited.
Yeah.
That makes it so great. And how rare this is, Chevy. 30 plus years, 30,
Oh my
32
gosh.
years?
Yeah. Yeah.
I was at Iowa State the last time the Jays won.
I think I was in high school. I was just in high school, and that was 93, I believe it was. 93, you're at Iowa State?
Yeah.
Yeah.
92.
So I was,
92.
yeah, 92. But yeah. So where do you want to go right now? I mean,
Well, here's where I'm going to go. This kind
Go
of a
ahead.
stud or dud. It's not a stud or a dud. I'm just going to state it's a stud. Like Shohei Ohtani, you know, I'm not a baseball guy. I don't follow I haven't followed the Dodgers ever.
Yeah.
I knew the name. I knew he's a pitcher. I didn't know until this year that the guy smokes home runs, that he's a designated hitter on the nights that he's not playing. And I think we all do, but do you recognize what a generational talent that is?
Oh,
Like,
it's
it's not like
ridiculous.
Phil Collins playing the drums and singing live in concert. I mean, there's never been a pitcher like this before.
That'd be like Tom Brady being the starting quarterback, and then also returning punts and getting touchdowns.
But it's beyond Dion. It would be
playing
more
linebacker.
defense as well. Yeah, playing linebacker as well.
You know what? If I would think about that generational type talent, this is a Deion Sanders. There's a Deion Sanders, a Bo Jackson.
Bo Jackson, yeah.
When you talk about generational talent, and again, when I think about that, I don't think there's a hockey player that plays, NHL hockey and can do
It'd be
anything
like
else.
a goalie on his off nights. He would go up there and put up a hat trick.
Yeah,
I mean,
like,
it's that's probably the closest comparison in sport, isn't it?
Yeah,
I think you guys have this flip too. Like when he was in Japan, he was hitting like 50, 60 home runs in a season, and he could pitch. Like pitching is like his second thing he's good at. Yeah. Like this guy can hit.
Well, how hard is it to pitch in the major league though, right?
I don't know. Ask him. He pitched pretty good tonight.
Yeah.
But
like he got on base 9 times yesterday, which is just unheard of. Like they started intentionally walking him 4 times.
Yeah.
Well,
like truly the greatest player I've ever seen. Maybe
in any sport of any time.
In any sport of any time.
Like.
Well, again, it's hard if you didn't watch Bo Jackson. It's hard if you didn't watch Deion Sanders. But that being said, the ability to do what he's doing is ridiculous. And it's interesting because whenever you have a player that comes and challenges the norms, you think about a Deion Sanders, you think about a Bo Jackson, you think about when Michael Vick came to the NFL. When a guy challenges the norms, the system has a hard time classifying him. Like when I listen to the Blue Jays games on the radios, they're always talking about, well, surely he can't keep this up. Surely he's going to have to choose. Surely he's going to have to figure it out. And like, because history dictates that you got to figure it out and you got to play one position, but this guy's he's not the norm. And, I remember that was the conversation with a guy like Michael Vick, or you look at Travis Hunter, who's playing for the Jaguars now. Well, surely he's got to pick one, right? And I don't think Travis Hunter is dominating the way Shohei Ohtani is, but I guess he might pick eventually one because your body catches up to you. For sure, your body catches up to you. It caught up to Deion, it caught up to Bo. It's going to catch up to Travis Hunter, and it probably catch up to Shohei. But
Shohei's got 2 Tommy John surgeries already too, right? Like,
yeah,
it is showing some wear and tear. But he looked good tonight. But the reason I was taking that though, Chev, I want to take this off another point, another direction, just a little bit. The superiority of the Japanese culture in terms of performance of any other culture in the world right now. Like the fact that they're putting guys into the NBA, and Japanese weren't exactly known as great basketball players, but they've got some tall guys. They train so hard. They're so disciplined. Anything that they do, from samurai sword making and fighting to making cups of tea to playing sports, it is such a disciplined culture that goes after excellence. The next thing of excellence that I saw in Japan. Now, my wife works for WestJet. I've talked about it before. Okay. And they fly to Naruto. What's that city? I can't even remember. There's a Japanese city they fly into. And all the WestJet girls and a bunch of staff are always bringing her gifts. You know what else the Japanese have dominated us in? Chocolates. Not just their own chocolates. In Japan, and Trey, I don't know, I sent you a slide. They've taken companies like Kit Kat, like bars like Kit Kat.
Yeah.
And Kit Kat's is a respectable chocolate bar. It's nobody's favorite, but it's on the list of good chocolate
Kit
bars.
Kats
in a
are
good bite.
awesome.
They've taken a different direction. This is what we got sent home over the last couple of weeks from people from coming back from Japan.
Okay.
They're like strawberry Kit Kats. They make it looks like waffles and pancakes. I don't know how big we can get that. They've taken the Kit Kat and have turned it on its head with adding mints, adding all kinds of crazy stuff. And dude, I'll tell you what, if you ever get your hands on a Japanese Kit Kat, you got to have it. It is the best thing out there. If you look at it, it's a red flake strawberry thing.
Oh yeah.
It tastes like a Kit Kat, but it's got all this other stuff in it. It's amazing.
I'll tell you what, if I hadn't given up sugar in advance of my my trip in November, I'd probably crush a couple of Kit Kats tonight because I'm hungry. And that looks mighty good. I think I'd seen a green tea Kit Kat once. That's about the only one I had seen. I bet a mint Kit Kat would be sick because I love mint. But well, I'm glad you're enjoying your Kit Kats. And Japanese, you're talking about the greatest baseball player in the world right now, and their reputation for quality. You even think about automotives, like a Honda and Toyota. They got some of the best reputations for reliability
and for
quality.
drivers. I was looking at this earlier. They had an Indy 500 driver that cleaned up in 2019.
I have friends that have last couple of years have gone to Japan and they keep going back. They say it's the best vacation spot ever. Apparently, you could drive like true life Mario Karts in the street. And you just drive them, and it's like a Mario Kart, which is super crazy, but also awesome. And yeah, you know what? Nintendo's Japanese, and that's pretty awesome. I guess so is Sony. So they make all the good video game systems too. So yeah. Speaking of video games, did you hear about the whole Trump meme with the video game consoles? So again,
I saw it, but I didn't get to see I didn't get the context.
So
what was that
basically,
about?
so for you and I, there was a couple of Halo stories actually, but for you and I being original Halo fans and the original Halo Club when we used to play, the creators of Halo are remaking the original Halo game. So the original is going to be remade, not remastered, remade, but this time it's going to be released on Sony, which has never happened before. A Halo game has never been released on PlayStation. And so I guess the meme going out there is that, Trump also ended the console wars. So now that Master Chief is going to be on Sony and Xbox, Trump is responsible for ending.
What a peacemaker.
Yeah, he's a peacemaker. So he has ended the console wars. But another interesting story is that the original composer of the Halo theme, like he's running for a Republican seat somewhere, and he's kind of using the Halo theme to say that when he gets in, they are going to, eradicate the flood. And some people are relating that to an immigration thing. I don't know about that, but I just find it interesting that Halo has made the news this week. There's a lot of memes out there. There's a lot of memes out there, and the White House is getting in on it. And the console wars appear to have ended, Sheldon. Sony and Xbox will make peace. But on another note, that Xbox, the newest Xbox that's going to be released next year, they're saying it's going to be a $1,700 console.
Wow. Yeah, wow.
Would you like the PlayStation right now?
Is
up at $700.
So what goes straight to my head on that one is for $1,700, is this going to it's expensive? That's too expensive. But what is it going to do? Like, that's exciting when you think about.
Better cook me a sandwich while I'm playing video games, because for $1,700, I better be using the hell out of that thing, and I'm going to be famished. So I better get some food out of this thing.
Well, and I better start to. It's okay. Price range of $900 to $1,200, but Trey, that's US. That's US. That's $1,700 Canadian. I mean, $1,600 Canadian.
That's huge. And the CEO of Xbox, she said that the Xbox, the newest Xbox, whatever they're calling it, will be a curated experience. I don't know what that means, but it almost sounds too sophisticated for video gaming. Like I can't see people paying that much for it. Maybe they do because they pay every second year for an iPhone for that much.
You know
Who
what?
knows?
You know what they're going to do, and if they were smart, they would go the road of everybody else, and they would just put it on a subscription model. Like what happens when your wireless router goes down? Rogers or whoever, TELUS, whoever you're with, sends you a new one for free. They keep sending you the hardware to keep you hooked for life. The second, do you know why I still have my why I'm still with the cable provider I'm with, is because of our personal email addresses. I would hate to have to go through there and change all of my personal email addresses, which are, and quite frankly, my personal one was a Shaw account, and Shaw doesn't even exist anymore, as far as I know.
Fair
But
enough.
the
It's
email
Rogers.
account works.
Yeah,
but,
it's Rogers. It's Rogers.
Yeah.
You're right. But it is interesting how the games keep getting released and everything gets more and more expensive. And yeah, I'm sure people will buy this, but it sure is interesting that it's getting to be that expensive.
that's a lot of money. That's
a lot of money for a gaming system. And again, people spend a lot more time on gaming systems now than they ever did. So I'm sure they're going to get some sort of value for their money. But in order to take advantage of that, you probably need the good TV, and you probably need the good headset, and the good. And it's
if this thing could, I'll tell you what, if this thing could run your household, I mean, literally, when the doorbell rings and you can see if it's Amazon or UPS or the Girl Guides, right? If it can be like a household running, like system running thing, I can see how you can get up in that price range. I'm not replacing that thing every year. My kids are going to have to play on that same console. First of all, they're going to have to share it. And second of all, they're going to be playing on that thing for the next 10 years.
Do you still play once in a while? Do you still play once in a while? I don't.
I do once in a while. You know what it is? Roblox. So my son, like we grew up, I introduced him to Halo and all those things, but they're all off these other games. My son loves those obby games where you have to jump and double jump off of walls. And I'm horrified by those games. I was terrible at them. And about 2 years ago, he challenged me to say, Dad, you got to try this game. You got to try this game. So about 6 months ago, I sat down with him and I started playing Roblox. And I mean, I hate it. I break out in sweats. I'm just about ready to throw my controller, but he coaches me through each map. And you know what? I'm a decent player now. I only do it like once a month, but I figured I at least got to see what the kids are playing and give that a try. So I play. It's called Flood Escape on Roblox, and stupid game. I don't recommend anybody.
Are you being chased by zombies? Is that what it is?
No,
flood?
You're being chased by a flood of lava or water. You could drown, you can swim through it, but you've got timing. You got to make it through this obstacle course before the water catches up with you.
Okay. Well, I don't play much anymore. My boys all play different games. I think Kyle's into the Minecraft. Luke plays this actual soccer game where he's a soccer player on a team, and he has to meet up with other guys that are on his team. It's kind of like they're on a team, and instead of like being a shoot 'em up team, each of them is an individual soccer player, and he plays this game, and he's on that. And Brett doesn't play much anymore, but he'll play like the shooters, like the Call of Duties and all that. For me, I saw the other day that there's this video game being released, and something I'm really interested in. It's a new Marvel game. I think it's called Marvel Doom something or other. And it's basically an old school arcade beat 'em up, like the old. I don't know if you ever played the 4-player Ninja Turtles game or even the X-Men arcade game.
The arcade games, yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So it's basically that, but all new Marvel characters. So you got Iron Man, Venom, Spider-Man, Captain America, and I'm really looking forward to that game because, like, I can't handle the sophistication of the games anymore. Like I can't. So an old school button masher beat 'em up is what I would love to play. And it's got the right elements. It's Marvel.
What's funny about that though? Like, so here's the thing. Okay, I don't want to keep going. You guys, we're probably boring you to death on this, but one thing that got me excited, we saw these guys that are building. What are they called? You take just a basic computer, and you can build out a complete gaming system full of old games that hardly take any memory or anything like that. So we've started working on that now. We're just looking for like an old, Windows 7 computer or something to run it all. Our laptop's a little bit too beat up to run it, but just to get back to playing some of those old games we played when we were kids, right from Atari through to Sega through to the early Nintendo days. Play some GoldenEye, which to me was the best first-person shooter game ever made.
The best.
Yeah. Last thing. Well, let's take it here. This was the last thing for studs or duds. you brought up, unless you got something after it, but
Yeah.
you brought up an interesting story about a water truck today, and it tied in well your encounter with this big truck and an article that came out in the National Post about the state of truck drivers in Canada. We all know what happened with the Humboldt Broncos a few years ago.
Yep.
You get new, inexperienced big truck drivers from other countries, mostly from India and Pakistan, that come here. Somebody gets them their visa, somebody gets them hooked up with a job, somebody gets them their license. And next thing you know, nothing against Indians and Pakistanis, it's just that they're controlling the industry. Next thing you know, you have all these new drivers driving, 20-ton rigs up, not 20 tons, but yeah, good 10 to 20-ton rigs up and down the highways that are not used to the customs and the rules and the regulations of our roads. Chevy, tell us what you saw today, because that one was just scary.
Yeah, no, today I was driving back down on the southeast side of Calgary, coming back into town, dropping something off, and I was at a light, four-way intersection, and it was basically, there was no turning lanes left or right. It was two lanes, stopped at a light, you wait your turn, and when it's green, you could turn right or you could go straight. And on the other opposite coming traffic, everyone was stopped. And then I looked to the left, and there was no road, but there was a water tanker truck, and I gotta assume he was empty. He was like off-roading to take the right-hand turn to the road that was kind of perpendicular to the direction we were facing. And like, I'm watching this water tanker truck just like bouncing on the dirt, like no road, nothing. It wasn't even a gravel road. And I was like, holy crap, like what is going on? And, I mentioned my dad earlier on. My dad, he spent his entire career as an insurance claims adjuster for large fleet. And it wasn't uncommon to see in my house. I mean, back in the day, there was no computers. Everything was on files and papers and photographs. My dad would recreate accident scenes as a claims adjuster. And it wasn't uncommon in our household to see the carnage that was done when a semi truck or a bus got into an accident. But it seems now that there's more and more of an issue. And, our good friend Daryl McAvena, Performance Freight Management, deals with a lot of logistics. And even he had mentioned it is a problem. And like you mentioned, like this article happens to point out a trend. And the trend is that there's a lot of foreign truck drivers from those nations that you mentioned that are causing some major traffic carnage, from death to damage to hitting overpasses. And it's a trend, and someone's going to say, oh, you're racist. And I don't think you're racist for bringing up a trend. In fact, the article, Jamie Sarkonak there, he started by talking about what the U.S. is doing to stem it and how in Canada we haven't been doing near enough. And
so the U.S. have had some high profile cases in the last year. Including like apparently guys who, the way the laws are structured, it's very easy to get a person in and to get them a commercial driver's license. And there's companies that are very skilled at getting the lowest priced drivers brought in, get them trained up just enough to get them on the roads. But I look at Canada, and when we go back to the Humboldt Broncos, what year was that, Chev? That tragedy happened?
I think it was over 10 years ago now. Yeah, it was just before COVID, actually. So
regardless, it's been too long. Okay, 2018. So 7 years ago, going on 8 years.
Yeah,
that's been too long to acknowledge that we have a problem. And my biggest issue with this is yes, you get a young inexperienced driver without proper training, without proper language skills, without proper road knowledge behind the wheel of an absolute killing machine. But that's only half the problem. We have a corporate culture in Canada where we permit bad actors to run these companies, to recruit these drivers. And I'll tell you what, from my days back when I was in commercial real estate, you could even see the problem then, because most of the guys that started these companies also had an immigration lawyer in their back pocket. They were buying houses that they would just ship people in. So your drivers, you pay them the base bottom lowest wage, and you put 10 of them into your rental property. So you're profiting from low wage staff, and you're profiting from personal real estate investments. I mean, it's a smart deal from a dollar and cent standpoint, but it is not safe.
No,
And-
and trucking is an industry where it's time based, and the more time you can spend on the road and get your loads, the more money you're going to get paid. And these guys fudge their numbers on their logbooks, so they're not sleeping, they're not checking their trucks, they're not reporting if a truck is not in proper operating condition. Like, we have the same rules as fire department as commercial truck drivers, that we have to inspect our vehicle on every shift. Every 24 hours in Alberta, you've got to inspect a commercial vehicle. You got to check to see if the brake pins travel in the right distance. You've got to check your fluids. You got to check everything. And if something is wrong, that makes it that you have to report it. We shut the truck down. The shop comes out and fix it. But if you're a truck driver and the brake pins don't travel in the right spot, and you got to shut your truck down, not only are you shutting the truck down, you're taking money out of your pocket. And that's where people are taking shortcuts on their brakes,
out of your company's pocket, and out of your company's pocket.
Well, yours and your company's. But a lot of these truck drivers are also owner operators. So
Yeah, some are for sure.
you're taking, and so they take shortcuts. I can make it. I can make it. And they take shortcuts on their sleep. And then the other thing is the texting and driving, man. I drive up the QE2 so often. You know how I go to Red Deer pretty much every second weekend. And man, seeing the trucks, the dualies, the tandems swerving on the road, it's disgusting, because you know that the guy's in there either falling asleep at the wheel or he's on his phone.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's bad when people
and that's a Canada-wide problem, because you can pull up to any intersection in Calgary right now, and there's somebody that's delayed by 10 seconds getting off at a light, or somebody's on their
that's
phone.
a North American problem.
But you put that into a big truck.
Yeah, it's terrible. And our Alberta government has taken some steps to ratify. Say what you want. There's good things and bad things that are going on under this government's watch, but I think this is a good one. They've shut down 13 commercial trucking companies due to unsafe equipment and poor safety records, and failure to meet mandatory safety standards. I think that's good, and they'll take it further. They've revoked some licenses. They're also trying to put this thing on the license, I guess, nationality for commercial truck drivers. I don't know what that would serve, unless
that was less important to me. I'd like to know. What I'd rather see is years in country.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay, you're great. You're from this country or that country. Fine. You can get trends from that, because one of the problems is current accident reporting doesn't track country of origin of the drivers. So right now, we do know this. We have an influx of new drivers, and we've had an influx of new fatalities from Ontario, all across Canada in the last 5 years.
Canada.
And we do not have the data to say if that's Canadian trained drivers, foreign drivers. We don't have the data to say it. I get what they're doing there, but you can have all the rules in the world. What we really need is enforcement. And if you're saying Alberta's starting to crack down and yes, go after the drivers, but it is the companies. Because what I was hearing was your company gets shut down, or you get in some trouble, and so your insurance goes up. You just renew a new numbered company and you start all over again.
Yeah.
It doesn't follow the company owners, and that's the problem we're having. There's no accountability.
Yeah, no, it's no accountability. And you talk about the texting and driving and all that, and it's a Canada problem. It's a North America problem for sure. In fact, that more recent movie, Good Fortune, that's starring Keanu Reeves and Seth Rogen. It's a little bit of a comedy, switcheroo lifestyle comedy. Keanu Reeves plays a guardian angel, but he's not a very good guardian angel. He doesn't get to do cool stuff. He sits in the back of people's cars and he prevents them from having texting and driving accidents. I went to see it the other night. It's kind of a funny movie. It's a statement about the haves and the have-nots. Pretty good movie, but I think with the truck driving, I think it's important to recognize trends. And if there's some alarming trends out there, then something needs to be fixed. And we can't just skirt around the issue because we're worried about, what are people going to say? No, if there's an issue that foreign-born truck drivers are coming here and taking shortcuts to get on the road with these tanks.
And I promise you, it's foreign-born truck companies that we really have to crack down on right now, because people come here looking to make a living and start something up. But you don't have the same safety culture that we always had growing up, the same way the fire department is run. Chevy, when I rent a plane, when I went flying, when I was getting my private license, you have logbooks from every day, and every little thing, as much as a light out, is recorded in there. And you know right when you rent that plane what's been fixed, when it was fixed, who fixed it, or if it's still withstanding and it's not an absolute safety issue, but you have to be aware of it. It's a safety culture. And I don't care so much about our Uber drivers. I hope they're safe too. Our food delivery apps. But when you're driving a 10,000-pound rig down the highway and you've got undisciplined, untrained drivers that are checking their Facebooks, and we've seen the videos of them just crashing through, stop traffic. That's scary. I don't want to have to be looking over my shoulder.
Or falling asleep. Falling asleep is one of the number one causes, I'm sure, because truck drivers go on mileage, they go on hours driven and on the loads, and that's how they get paid. And so they fudge the numbers so they can do more jobs, and it's dangerous. And I know in the recent years they put GPS trackers on vehicles that will shut them down for a certain amount of time, but people find ways around, just like the truck driving schools. You know which ones are the ones that you can get by a little easier than the others. And it's got to be shut down because too many people are dying because of this. Sheldon, I don't know. There's so much to talk about. The gambling thing, we're probably going to hear more. Just last thing on the gambling thing. Last week, NBA player Rozier and Chauncey Billups, coach of the Charlotte Hornets, both got nailed in this gambling scandal where, people will two gambling scandals. One was shaving points so that people could bet the under in the games, and Rozier kept pulling themselves off games. And then the other one was these rigged poker games where everyone was in on the take except the one person that they were targeting. And I don't know if you saw the FBI press conference by Kash Patel, but it was really interesting. Like, if you haven't had the chance to watch it, you should watch it. Like, they go through the whole operation, how they had x-ray machines, how they recruited the one guy that they were going to defraud of the money. There was one guy at the table was the quarterback. All the NBA stars and people were like, they were called the face cards, and everybody was in on it. And these were illegal gambling games that were rigged. So they have illegal card games, and then
I heard they had glass. They had glasses that could see like, so you do exactly
everything. Sheldon, card counting
movie,
but big time. But they have illegal card games that are run by the mob, and then they have illegal fixed card games that are run by the mobs. And these guys, including those NBA players that were named, took people in the hundreds of thousands, even millions. And with the basketball thing, they got to these players like hundreds of thousands of dollars, if not millions, that these guys basically cheated. And that's where we're at in the state of the game. I mean, we saw last year when Sean Lemon betted on himself, but this is a whole different story.
We called it, and Chevy specifically, you called it years ago when we started like getting gambling into everything, that there is going to be exploited. There's just too much money in there. It's going to be organized crime is going to get involved. And
the five families in New York, the Gambinos, the Genoveses, and whatever the other ones are, I can't remember off the top of my head. They were all in on it. The poker, the NBA stuff. My question to you is this. If it's in the NBA, it's got to be in every other sport, right?
I think NBA is the worst of the worst because I think there's only 5 guys on the court. And they've historically been able to really corrupt basketball players because it's easy. One guy can have a dramatic impact on a game. It'd be like going after the skip of a curling team if that was a big betting sport. Curling would be way worse.
Yeah, but what if they got to the kicker in an NFL game? What if that's the reason the 49ers kicker?
No, he doesn't have an impact. It doesn't have an impact on every game though. But yeah, you're right. Like that would be a position that I would absolutely go after. What do I know about kickers or kicking or techniques? Goalies would be the same thing, honestly.
Most games in the NFL are decided by 3 points or less. So if you're playing those odds and you go, but they're also getting guys not just for the deciding factors of games. Now it's because of the prop bets. You could say, oh, Travis Kelce has over 20 catches or whatever, over 10 catches or under, and you could bet the under, and he'll just pull himself out of the game, and you win a whole bunch of money. Like that's what happened in the basketball one. So it is actually easy to perform that type of a fraud in the NFL because there are so many prop bets, so many.
Yeah, you saw that clip of that guy in the NBA, like it was the worst offender.
Yeah.
How obvious it when you go back and watch it play, how obvious it was. But we're gonna have to watch that for sure. With that, I just want to say, Trey, going to see Ben Bankus tomorrow. Very, very awesome comedian that's come out big in the last year or so. Says exactly what's on his mind. The kind of guy that's been canceled a few times but's come back because he's just so funny. I think he's Canadian too. But he's making his living touring mostly in the States. So yeah, Trey, enjoy the show. Jameis says we want to hear about it. Yeah, Trey, we want to hear about that one next week. I actually meant to look into tickets for that one, but I'm glad you're going, buddy. Guys, and I'm glad all of you guys that stuck it out with us. A weird one tonight. Everybody's exhausted from the Jays. It was a good one. YouTube wouldn't let us on. We got banned. We still don't know why we got banned, but I guess we made up. They got us on there. So guys, thanks again for all of you guys that joined us for the whole show. We really love it. A lot of stuff happening this week. Can't wait to reconnect with you guys next week. But until then, take care of yourselves, take care of your families. Go Jays, go Riders, go whoever your local home sports team is. We got your back, and we'll see you guys all back here
Go
next
Stamps,
week
go
on the ride.